This segment is brought to you by Trap Chevrolet. We're always on your side.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. You see the headline, arrest of meat theft, and you go, what the heck is going on? And then you realize that it's actually a very organized kind of thing that's involving states and a bunch of different communities. Here to talk more about it and how you kind of solved the case. I guess it's not solved yet, but,
right.
You did make an arrest. It's Blake Tabor of the Taborn Parish Sheriff's Office. Thanks so much for being with us. Again, you get meat theft. What did somebody steal a hamburger?
Correct.
But as the more you kind of look into it, this was an organized gang that y'all caught.
Absolutely. So, look, this case came to a head on Monday, shortly before 11 a.m. when we were tipped off by Sam's Club, of all places, in reference to a couple, a male and a female, that entered the store and were stealing a large amount of meat. Okay. And anyone that's been to Sam's, you know that there is a plethora of meat there to choose from, right? And what's the one thing you notice about it? It's always extremely expensive, right? Mm-hmm. So ultimately that led to them providing us with a physical description of the male and female, and we got pretty lucky on this occasion. We also got a description of the vehicle to include the license plate number. So ultimately we converged on that area. And once we realized by running that license plate that they were from the New Orleans area, we realized that there's a good chance that they were trying to get to Highway 90.
Right.
So again, our units converged and was ultimately able to stop that vehicle and see that vehicle at a local convenience store, where subsequently the officers witnessed that couple putting ice on the meat inside of an ice chest.
Which is nice, right? You want them to take care of the meat they steal,
which is the thing that you hope they're going to do. They're going to take care of it if they're going to steal it, right? And so, a little background on this. Once we converged on them, we were able to identify them as a Tiara Marie Chasson, 28 years of age, and a Jason Paul Garrett, 31 years of age, both of Wagaman. You see them photographed here. So how this case came to be is this couple actually entered just in the month of September at our local Sam's here in Houma on 5 different occasions, right? Those 5 occasions, in addition to the one that happened on Monday, so you're talking about 6 total thefts where they encompassed and stole close to $4,000
just from the Houma
in steaks, briskets, lobster, lamb chops, you name it. I mean, we're talking about slabs of meat that are $200 and $300 a piece. And then ultimately we found some additional evidence inside that car once they were identified, and that led to a search, as it oftentimes does. We also located some evidence to support the fact that they were selling those particular items. And again, there's some other evidence that kind of encapsulates that. We're not going to discuss at this point because it's still an ongoing investigation. But there is some other evidence to support that this couple was also responsible for thefts at additional Sam's locations, all the way from Alexandria, Louisiana, all the way up to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So when we start talking about organized retail theft, this wasn't as simple as going in a store and stealing a shirt or a blouse and, some candy bars.
Right.
This was a premeditated selection of an item that they could move very quickly and get a good financial return on.
Yeah, well, if you just got $5,000, $4,000 from this one, if you now add, 8 to 9 to these Sam's,
Absolutely.
You see it's adding up pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Did they have a network that they were selling it? They were doing it on the internet, or how?
Yeah, so again, this is still under investigation.
Sure,
We're
yeah.
still trying to determine all of the facets in which they were moving these items. And just so people can understand, there was a large amount of evidence that we're still combing through inside that vehicle. That it's probably going to answer a lot of those questions. But at this point, some of those questions just can't be answered. But it's about pooling these resources for other agencies. We have to make sure that these other Sam's locations were first documenting the fact that these are the same suspects, which I think there's been a big foothold on that has proven to be the case. But it's about getting those law enforcement agencies across our state and into Mississippi linked up to where we can all charge them together,
right.
For this case, and it's a big thing. You're probably talking about north of $50,000 here in a matter of a few short months.
Right, it's a good deal. Now, how would somebody go about stealing meat? When I go to Sam's, I don't even know if I'll put stuff in the cart, and by the time you walk out, It takes it out of your credit card almost now.
Absolutely. And look, and there's a
everywhere.
multitude of ways, right? I mean, we've seen situations where people will go into a store with a television and they'll run right out the front door, right? Well, this was certainly a little more calculated than that. There was a bag that was used on almost every occasion where she concealed that. The bag looked very similar to that of a purse. So again, if you're not paying attention to something that's going on and you just see a large black or a brown purse hanging on someone's shoulder, you know, it seems
and everybody's
commonplace.
walking out
Absolutely. And look, it's about being vigilant, right? We go, and I know I'm bad for this. When I'm shopping at stores, I'm constantly watching what other people are doing, but that's the nature of what I do for a living. Most people that are shopping, they're going in there to do their shopping, their heads down, they're getting it done, and they're getting out, you know? So again, the reason why we have video surveillance in all these stores, the reason why they have technology at the front stores or at the front doors of these particular Sam's, and, you know, but that's not completely fail-safe, right?
This is not a TikTok trend or anything, right? Where people are stealing. I mean,
no, I think this is about a commodity that was able to be moved. They saw an opportunity. It's much like, you know, the rash and thefts of catalytic converters. Why catalytic converters? Well, they sell for a large amount of money. You know, it's a crime of opportunity, and I think this is probably what we'll see in the future. Is this happen with them, and it proved lucrative, and they just continue to go with it.
Well, yeah, let's hope that doesn't become a trend, right?
Absolutely.
Meat's expensive enough, right?
That is correct.
Anybody bought hamburger lately knows that.
That's right.
Well, Blake, we appreciate the update, man. Good case, for sure.
It very was. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. More Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Trap Chevrolet. We're always on your side.